Thank you.
Okay, let's take a minute and just maybe take 3 deep breaths, your pace, kind of in through the nose and out through the mouth. I really like to just kind of do a stretch up, where you interlock your fingers and then turn them up and then just stretch up. And you can kind of feel that both up your arms, but also up your back. And
Mm.
just let it stretch only where how it feels comfortable, not don't push it. Then if you can, just do a little lean and then back to center and then just a little lean. Feel that right in your waist, don't you? And then back to center. Okay, I don't know about you, but I can't hold my hands up anymore. And then we'll just rotate those shoulders a little bit. And then the other direction. Okay, and I need you to let your fingers get loose. I need to let my fingers get loose because I've been scrambling all morning doing samples. So, okay. So I want to talk about this class first. Um, and I want to say thank you to Mary Howe, who suggested this. I had one intention as I moved along getting ready for this class, but when she said last week, I'd really like to know how to embed letters, I went, oh, well, now that would be interesting. So I did two things. I watched a couple videos by Marie Thomas. Rick and Maria are the two people who invented the Zentangle method. And Maria is a letter artist. So she does the elaborate um, letter art that you've seen so many places. So whenever I watch her videos, I'm always slightly intimidated because her line work is so precise. But there's a project pack at zentangle.com. It's Project Pack 15, and it is lettering. That is the whole deal. But it's the typical Zentangle take, if you get my drift. There's some wonderful information there, and all the videos are available. You don't have to buy the project pack. So just to let you know, there are resources if you want to pursue this further than I'm going to take it. So I did that. But then the other thing I did is I watched Haunani's class, and I watched her class on lettering. And it was wonderful. First of all, I learned a bunch of stuff. But it was interesting to me to kind of see the connections. So I'm going to talk about embedding letters in Zentangle, but um, but I'm going to go through the steps. Before I show you anything, I want to walk through the way Maria talks about creating Zentangle alphabets, if you will. Because if you just look at them, you think, oh my God, I can never do that. And you just put it away. In fact, I bought this project pack many years ago, and it has been sitting in a box. So you know how that goes, right? So when I started getting into this, I pulled it out and I understood why I put it away in the box because I didn't feel very successful at it, right? Now, that was 3 years ago. So if you stop and think about it, one would hope I'm a little better at this than I was 3 years ago. But more importantly, I had to change my whole attitude about how to do this. So I'm going to incorporate some of what how Nani did in her class because I want to build on what she taught us. And then I'm going to take that piece and I'm going to talk about how Maria and Zentangle um, expands that. All right, does that make sense? Well, even if it doesn't make
What is the project pack number again?
15. It's it's project. Yes, it is. It is project pack 15. But you do not have to buy the materials. You don't have to buy the project pack because not all of it may be something you're interested in doing, but the videos are available. Okay. All right. We usually, yeah, anyway. All right. So, I'm going to share my screen. I think that's the best way to start. Maybe I am, if I can figure out what I'm doing wrong here. Okay, what am I doing wrong? There we go. Okay. Lordy, lordy. All right. You're not going to have to deal with all of that. All right. So first things first. So just take a piece of scrap paper, okay?
Oh,
Just
quiet. Sorry.
that's okay. If you have a sketchbook where you practice in, that's great. If you don't, just grab scratch paper. And for the first row here, I just want you to watch me, okay? And I want to talk a little bit about what the heck I'm doing. If you look, when I looked at reacquainted myself with this project pack, I realized that when she teaches this, she starts with very, very simple alphabet letters. Nothing dramatic, nothing fancy, nothing curvy. It's just an A and a P and an N. And so I've got 3 or 4 of them here that I can use to give you some examples of the process. All right, is that fair? Okay, again, I got to quit asking that because it ain't about fair, is it? So what Maria does is basically, do you remember how Nani talked about faux calligraphy? You remember when she talked about you add line weight in the upstroke? No, you add line weight in the downstroke, and it's just a line in the upstroke, right? Okay, it's a similar kind of thing, only slightly different rules. If you think about how Zentangle adds line weight, typically it does it in corners, right? And what she does is you just do it at ends. So I would come down to the end of the A and I make myself a little triangle, right? Can everybody see this, right? Okay. If I run off the camera, please just yell at me so that I can get back in the right place. So all I do is I give myself a little foot, right? And then I come down over here and I give myself another one on this side because that seems logical to me that if I was going to add weight, I'd want to add it kind of going in the same direction. It's really ugly now, isn't it? We have not gotten to beautiful. So just to be clear, but I'm going to add some weight up here. Now you're going to start to think, what in the heck is she doing? This is just really ugly. Let's make it this way. So what Maria does is she just starts adding weight to your letter in places that seem appropriate, if you will. You know, so we're going to do this like we tend to do in corners in Zentangle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that just looks really weird. So what you do, in fact, Maria says in one of her videos, hold it up and squint. And when you hold it up and squint, it tells you what you want to change and where you want it to be different. So just expand that line weight until that letter has taken a shape that looks good to you. It's not, I'm not doing a very good job of this because I'm nervous, but I think you get what I'm trying to tell you. So inevitably, I end up thickening my letter because that's usually how I think it looks best. Okay, now you can see it's kind of coming a little better, right?
Mhm.
But all I'm doing is just adding weight. Now I can do the same thing with less, okay? Like sometimes I may just want something with just a small accent, but I just don't want that much. You have to be able to hold your pen correctly. Now, what I find when I do the corners, I don't like this so skinny. Okay, so similar, right? But with just a little bit less. I don't want it to be that dramatic as I made this one. But there's no, I didn't really want that, but I'm stuck with it. See, the other advantage, I think, is when I screw up, I just cover it up. Okay? All right, not my best, but you get the idea. A's are not my best. All right, so play with a letter that you like and just add some line weight to it. A way that feels the way you want it to look. Okay?
Mhm.
So you got a little line weight on something?
Yeah.
So that's step one. Now here's a good example. I'm doing the P. So I did the same thing with just a little weight on either end of the straight line. But now I have a curved line. So logically to me, I'm just going to add weight at the curve. And if you think about how Nani talking about faux calligraphy, if you will, this is the downstroke, right? Now there's something else in watching Maria's videos I wanted to share with you guys. So this is kind of a side benefit because every time I watch videos, even ones I've already seen, I learned something I missed the first time. So I'll tell you about that in a minute. Don't let me forget. If I forget, say, Peggy, what were you going to tell us? Okay, let's say I like that. I don't want any more than that P. Okay? Is this part making sense or is it
Mhm. Yes.
Okay, seem logical. It's
Mhm.
typical Zentangle. Weight on the curve, weight where there are corners. That's our usual. Big weight, little weight, specific weight, whatever flips your bic, if you will. It's a lot easier to do this when you all aren't watching me. Okay, that one's pretty okay. I'm happy with that. I'm not sure I'm happy with either of these, but I'm happy with this. Okay, step 2. The next thing they do when they talk about creating a Zentangle alphabet is they aura the letter. Now, here's where I learned something watching Maria I've never heard her say before, and I'm sure she said it before, but I just didn't get it. She never draws side to side. I went, what? So I moved back the video and listened again. I was noticing that she's constantly turning her tile. So she comes down this way, right? We're auraing, and then she'll turn. And then she'll aura, and then she'll turn, and then she'll aura. And Rick says in the video, you'll notice she keeps turning her tile, and she says, well, of course I have to draw up and down. And I'm like, what do you mean? She said, I never draw side to side. You lose control of the pen. And I thought, well, okay then. This is someone who should know. So I started doing it in that I always turned so that I was either pulling toward me or pushing away. Okay. So we all have talked before about some of us are more comfortable pulling toward, some of us are more comfortable pushing away, but it's still an up and down stroke. So what I did is I turned my tile, my paper, so I was always drawing up and down. Now that's a pretty darn good aura, I would have to say. Okay. And once I started doing that, I went, this does make a difference. So I'm just sharing something I learned. And then you aura
Peggy,
inside.
what do we, I'm sorry, we call that turning the paper to draw in one direction? That's not right.
No, what she's saying, Linda, is that she never draws, like, let me see if I can show you. Like if I were oraing this N, which obviously I wouldn't do, but if I was, I often will do, yeah, N's not a good example. If I were to come down, go to the left, you see how I'm drawing side to side that way?
Uh-huh.
I go up and then draw down here. I'm drawing side to side.
Okay. Don't ever
Her
do that.
argument is I never draw side to side because I lose control of the pen.
Okay.
So I turn my tile, paper, whatever the heck it is, so that I can always draw up and down. So she would then turn again. So she always draws up and down and again. So it's always up and down. Something I never have remembered hearing her say.
If we're doing this is probably jumping ahead. It is jumping ahead. But if you
It's
were
okay,
writing
jump
like
ahead.
happy birthday and so that P was next to another P, do you aura just that P or do you aura the whole word?
Okay, you do not aura the whole word. So,
Okay.
Emery, what we're talking about is creating, if you will, an initial letter and then deciding what you're going to do. If you're writing a word, okay,
Uh-huh.
you start, what we're doing is a letter.
Okay.
We're talking about how do you embed a letter into Zentangle.
Into it. Okay, perfect.
So you can make a decision in a piece that you're going to aura each, additional letter, that you're just going to leave them alone. I mean, you may make different decisions as you go along, but what we're talking about is that letter, that initial
Just
piece.
one initial.
Yeah, maybe I'm gonna have to show. Of course, no, I can't find. Okay, this is not exactly a good example.
Ooh.
Okay, but here's the B. And the rest I did not, Aura.
Okay, that's super
right.
cool.
All right. So initially what we're doing is how the heck do you create something like that? So basically all we're doing is aura-ing the letter to start with. That's the start. So the start is line weight. And then the second step is aura the letter. Actually, I like that P. I may keep that one. You will find there are letters you are better at than others. There are letters you like. You can add line weight to certain letters and they look brilliant. And you can add line weight to other letters and you think, there's some kind of disease going on, whatever. Okay. But this particular one we'll go with. All right. So here I am.
I think the aura makes all the difference.
It does indeed, my friend. It does indeed. And that's why the first step after the line weight is aura the thing. Okay. Now you have some decisions to make, right? So the most commonly used tangles to create letters like this there are 3 that I have found. And I did a bunch of searching for different letters and there's other ways to do this, but that's why I tried to do 3, but you can tell I already screwed up. So the one that's often used is simple, and I want to start with this one because it's easy, is simple fescue. Just fescue. It's not real fancy, right? Well, let's say I do that. You can make them go whatever you can. I mean, yeah, your choice, how you create your fescue. I think I'm going to do one down here. Now what you do is you aura the fescue. My hope was to have several samples. I just can never, yeah. I always have trouble controlling the schedule to have the time to make as many as I might like. There's my little fescue, right? What I have seen most often is a second aura. So what it does is it gives you the impression. Now you see I'm going to go here because I can't get back in between. See, and I'll tell you, when you go side to side, she's got me really flummoxed now. Now it looks like something more impressive than just fescue, doesn't it? It looks like the one, what's the tangle that has all the lines around it over and over and over? Senna? Senna. No. I don't know.
Anna is one of them.
Okay, thank you. Now, some people get really into this and add another level. All right. What I did here is I only did one. And as I did one, I didn't like it. I wish I had done a second. So when you do the second, now you have to make a decision. Do you want to go further? Are you good with this? Do you want, most of the time when they talk about creating a Zentangle alphabet, they stay with a core tangle that you use with every letter. Right? So, but who cares? You can do whichever, who cares is not the way to say that. There really are no rules. So you certainly can do whatever works for you. When I get this kind of thing, I'm going to fill in these gaps. And typically I'm going to fill these gaps in with orbs because that's my deal. But one of the things I think I just use orbs. So then I get this but it's all choice, okay? And there is a P. Now, the other thing I have seen many people do is now that they've added the orbs, decide how far out you want this baby to come. Then they aura it again. Okay, so you can see how it looks a whole lot fancier schmancier than the actual tangle you're using. You're using three concepts. You're using line weight first, single aura, a single tangle. Then you embellish, and then you aura again. And that's all this is. Well, I lie. I added a tangle in the middle of my bee because they just look like henna drum belonged there, so I couldn't help myself. All right, but in this case, I could do the same thing. I could say, I don't like that open P there in the middle. So maybe I'll just put a little henna drum in there. And there's my P.
Lovely.
Okay, so my reason for doing this is to suggest that it can look very ornate and detailed and complicated, but you just saw me do it in what, 10 minutes? So it's not that it's difficult, it's just take your time, go step by step, and you create whatever particular letter it is you want. All right, we'll get to the whole deal in a minute. So this is the tangle fescue, right? Is what we're using. The other tangle that's used a lot, just hang on a minute, I'm going to add some line weight. Can't use that one. It's colors. Okay. Just trying to see if I had one already ready. Okay, now you can see I'm going whopper jawed, right? So in my old days, I'd throw this out. I'd say, I can't do it. Look, see, it's going all crooked. I gotta quit. Instead, what I've realized, just change it. Move the line weight a little. I also fooled around with doing some cute little curvy things on some of my samples that I'll show you in a second. All right, Peggy, come on, straighten that out. Now, some of you are going to be better at this than I am because you see it differently than I do, clearer. The vision of it is clearer for you earlier on. Not good or better, not worse, just different. So line weight may be a simple, quick process. That's a little thicker than I really wanted, but there you go. Sake of argument, all right, I'm going to keep going so I can show you the other tangle that gets used a lot. All right, so I'm going to aura this. I would probably have kept going because I'm not sure I'm totally happy with the line weight, but I want to get an example. So I'm going to keep going, all right? So don't judge my line weight. How's that?
This is a no judgment zone.
I'll take it. I'll tell you. Okay. The other tangle, I know Mike is going to groan, but the other tangle that's used a lot in embedded letters is Muka. Make sense?
Yep.
Simple Muka, and then I just fill in with my orbs as I do. Different people do different things. All right. Then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing over here. Now here on the end, I love, well, let me just show you this one. I loved, whoops, hold on a minute. I got something stuck up here that I don't know why it's there. Okay, what are you doing? Okay, I must have hit, I hit the keyboard. Sorry. So I did a single muka top, single muka bottom. Okay, bigger.
That's pretty.
And then I did henna drum on either side of the line and a tiny muka.
Could you hold that there just a moment?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Same concept, except here I did muka top and bottom because my N is a little smaller. So rather than trying to put a muka and a henna drum, I'm just going to do a henna drum. And even that's going to be a little tight. Too tight. Okay, so that gets you the idea. All right, so muka, we're back to good old henna drum. Now that's me. Not everybody wants henna drums in their alphabets. I lean toward that tangle. So again, part of what you do is you do what feels comfortable. You know, your favorite tangles we all fall back on. Okay, and then the final tangle that is often used, ignore the thing in the middle here, is diva dance. So diva dance in the center and then diva dance all the way around. Do you remember diva dance? I mean, I know those of you who've been around a while obviously do, but I'm not sure we've ever really done diva dance, have we?
That's okay.
Let me take this A that may or may not be very good. Aura is the first step. So if you were going to diva dance starts out with little bumps, otherwise known as like maybe little ladybugs. Randomly placed. And diva dance is kind of fun for this, again, because it's not complicated. It's easier than a muka. But it gives the effect you're after. So basically, after you do your bumps, you aura around them. It is harder to go side to side. Yes, so I can see. Sorry, don't mean to make you dizzy here. Now, diva dance here means I don't put any more bumps in. I just continue to do auras, right?
Your screen is bad now.
What is that? I apologize. There, I'll just push it away a little more, then it won't do this. So in here, I didn't do any more bumps. I just did auras, right? But around the outside, I aura'd my first set of bumps, and then I did another set. So here, I've aura'd that set. So now I'm going to randomly put in another set of bumps. Sometimes I'll pick corners because it changes the look. So just bumps, nothing particularly complicated. So then I aura those set of bumps. Gee, that's starting to look kind of cool, isn't it? Even with my crappy line weight. See what I mean? Nothing, it's simple, and that's what I did here. And how many bumps in what kind of frequency changes the look of the letter? Fewer bumps, it's going to give you a more open look. More bumps, a tighter, more dramatic look. Even my anemic A looks somewhat okay with a bunch of bumps. And that may be all I want. That may be enough. Is this making some sense, folks?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you can tell part of what I tried to do here, ignore that, the border, because I'm sorry, this thing is driving me crazy. So I don't like the border, so just pretend it's not there. So what I played with is the B, and then I made a saying, be brave, because I'm not feeling very brave right now. I don't know about the rest of you. I'm just feeling anxious and scared. So be brave seemed right to me. But in this instance, all I did here was I just used line weight for the rest of the letters. I didn't do anything else. Here, I got carried away. And this one I don't like, but it's a good example of you can get carried away, because this to me looks like some kind of big hat. I shouldn't have done the mucus going that direction. My E kind of gets lost, but be brave, and I just added mucus out of it. And then this is kind of a cool border, and I can show you how to do that. It's relatively straightforward. I think you can probably figure it out just by the picture. It's a tangle called Canyon by Angie Gittles. And it's quite straightforward. She just does the double line on either side, and then the curved line in the middle, and the 3 lines in the curves. So I thought, well, that might work because it's not too busy. So there you go. I'm not in love with this, but it's an example. All right. Another example, you can play with color. So if I went ahead and aura'd my fescue. Let's put another one in here. Oops, I didn't finish my fescue, guys. Okay, simple, straightforward. But here's another cool thing. And this is the colored tile phenomena that we've talked about. So I can also come on. Now it comes out in a big glob, of course. Just another option. Use my globbing there, but all right. So, comments, questions, what do you think?
It's great. Need to practice, but
So my thinking, what I thought made sense is for you all to work at some letters using the tangle you are most connected with to start so that you know you've got an N or a P or a B or whatever. And then think about how you might incorporate that into a design, like Be Brave or off the other one I was working on. I've also seen, which I think is kind of cool, people who have used this in cards. So they've done the letter, like if you're using the letter of somebody's first name or not necessarily wanting to print an entire message, they use the letter and then do kind of a banner, top and bottom, you know, that just runs both ways, which is what I started here. Oops, don't put it down on that. Now, I don't like that particular tangle, but you get the idea. And so I've seen narrow and wide. What Maria does a lot when she does the banner is she'll do a version of the N. So she'll do the N as a border. connecting it different ways. Is that, you see, I'm not speaking clearly, am I? Some people do ribbons, you know, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sufficient. I'm blabbing now. All right, tell me, what else do you need? What else can I talk about? What?
Mhm.
Peggy,
Yes.
so your P
Yes.
is beautiful. So that is on your tile. We're going to imagine, it's right on a tile. How do
Okay.
you proceed in terms of finishing the rest of the tile?
Okay. So let me show you what that means to me. So I'm going to, for me, how do I want to say this? What I'm going to do, Mary, is I'm going to show I think it was Mary that was talking, I'm not sure. Or was it Georgia? I don't know. I'm going to do the P just with no more letters. In other words, just the P itself. Okay.
Right.
So what I tend to do is for me, it has to start with the letter. So I just start the letter. And I use that same process we've been talking about. In this instance, I kind of liked the P with a little wiggle. How do I want to say this? You'll see here, I kind of did a little funkiness in my P because I thought that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But that was just, I went, oh, that could be cool. So I just did it. I mean, thought I'd try it, see how it looked. Well, since that's bigger, I said, well, let's be a little bigger down here. So one of the questions when you do these is, where are you going, right? Like, do you lay out a design ahead of time? And we've talked about everybody has a different way of finding their way from the letter to the tile. Does that, you know what I mean, Mary? It's like, and I can only talk about mine.
Sure.
So for me, I have to start with the letter first, decide kind of what style I want. And sometimes when I'm doing the line weight, I'll use a heavier pen, but I found that it keeps me from getting carried away. If I stay with, like, this is a 3 as it happens, but if I stay with a little lighter pen, I don't overdo it. So I don't end up with more heaviness than I really wanted. That's just me. There we go. That's smoother. Oh, cool. That's kind of neat. Okay, let's say I decide to stay with that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to aura. See, and for me, I have to do the letter first because because it has its own, a life of its own in terms of where I'll finally end up. I think I'm going to go with Diva Dance, actually. I'm going to leave my middle alone until I decide after I do the Diva Dance all the way around, then I can decide what I want to do because I'm not sure what I want to do in the middle. All right. So Diva Dance, right? It's bumps. Randomly placed. Ooh, that one's a little big. That'll be interesting. All right, let's go with that. Let's see. What you going for there, Mimi?
Eraser.
I have done just letters like this on small cards for people for their birthday. Like sometimes I'll do first and last initials. That's it. I mean, I don't put happy birthday. I just do a little initial thing. Okay, so now, as we know, however many bumps I add controls the drama, right? The fewer I add, the more open. The more I add, the more dramatic. So maybe on this one, I'll try to be, this layer, I'll be a little more open, see what happens. Sometimes I have a hard time being open. We'll put a tiny one up here. Okay, let's see what we got. Oops. Off there. Okay, that's kind of cool. All right, I want one more. So once I get the letter, and if I'm getting it right, Mary, I think I understand the question you're asking. So how the heck do I decide what else I put on here?
Exactly.
I kind of figured. For me, the hard part in answering that question is it's always different. Put one more here. So one of my questions is, how do you keep a collection of tangles that you like? I'm not asking you that, Mary. I'm saying that one of the questions that I struggle with is, how do I decide, okay, so let's say I do my third aura here, and I'm like, okay, how do I decide what I want, what else I want to do on my tile, okay?
And quality assurance purposes.
So when I do that, what I do is I tend to go and look at tangles. So for me, let me finish my last aura here before I start blabbing, but I don't always have brilliant, immediate ideas about what I want to add to a tile. Sometimes I'll go and I'll look at other people's work, and that kind of gives me ideas. Sometimes I'll go to Tangle List. Remember we told you about tanglelist.com, which shows you a bunch of tangles. Pinterest is probably one of the best resources just to look at what ideas other people have come up with. So there's that. Okay, it's not, how do I want to say, if I could keep all the tangles that I've seen and learned and like in my brain, I'd be happy. But I haven't succeeded with that quite yet. So let's say I'm good. I like how my letter is at this moment. But I also think maybe it's a little, yeah. I'm going to do one more aura with no bumps. Now, ask me why I decided that. I can't really tell you, except for the fact that it feels kind of dense to me. And my thinking is one more aura without any bumps will give it a little more openness and expand it out just a smidge. It may not, I may not, I may do it and go, that wasn't a good idea. But that's my thinking at the moment. It's kind of the same thing as when people aura the whole thing at the end. Whoops. Don't go side to side. Yeah, I like that. Gives it, yeah. Anyway. So now what the heck do I do, guys? So my instinct is that the first thing I do is I think, well, we want to make it feel more contained. So I'm going to do a little border. First, I'm going to be as tight as I can be. And I'm doing this in pencil, so I can change my mind. But for me, it feels like it needs some kind of boundary. I normally don't talk this much, so if this is like driving you crazy, tell me to be quiet, but it's kind of a process conversation. Okay, there's my edge. So I'm going to make a border. And I'm guessing, I'm not being exact. So that feels to me like, okay, now I know where What do I want to do? Now, traditional Zentangle deals with strings, right? We
Right.
draw a string and it's only in the open spaces that we put a tangle, right? In this instance, what I've just done is I've kind of created a string by making a border, right? So now I've got this inside. So the question is, do I want to do something behind my letter? Do I want to add additional things around here? So here's what I'm thinking. What do I want to do? Can you tell I can't decide? I don't know, Mary, I may be flummoxed. So one of the things Maria talks about a lot is what did she call it? Morphing from one tangle to another. So when you are dealing with something like this, what is a tangle that is like it but different? So I'm going to do this. Still a bump.
Again.
Interesting.
So Peggy, are you essentially saying that once you have your letter down, then you kind of work from the perimeter of it and work outward?
I think it's what moves you, Mary. I wish I had a good answer.
Okay.
And my feeling is everybody does it differently. So some people would say to you, let me see if I can find a round tile and I can show you what I mean. Some folks, I would go and I would look at a bunch of tangles and decide what ones seem related to my crescent moon, that I did here, Diva
Okay.
Dance. Some people put a series of tangles in a C shape and they just use, like they would use poke root or poke leaf, come up, use a little flux and create a border and then have their letter, come out from it. So let's say you were going to use a C. And you're going to do your, your line weight. So pretend your C, takes up this kind of space, okay?
Mhm.
So they would create the letter, do the tangle around it, and then they would branch off from that with other tangles. It's the same thing we do when we actually do a string and we just go tangle the tangle the tangle.
Mhm.
When I say to you, okay, here's the string, right? And we tend to do, whoops, the Z string to start. And what we say is you put a tangle here, a tangle here, a tangle here, and a tangle here, right?
Mhm.
When you do this kind of thing, you're really doing the same thing. You're just not drawing the string with as much definition. So in
Okay.
essence, I'm doing the same thing. If I were to, do a string along this, which I could do, I would do a tangle here, a tangle here, and a tangle here, right? And that's totally a cool way to do it.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with that approach. And in fact, a lot of folks, that's how they would do it automatically because that's kind of a traditional Zentangle approach where, all right, I would do my tangle in here because that's where I've got the space, right? And then I
Mhm.
do a different tangle in here, and then I do a different tangle in here, and then I do a border. Both of those are legit. For me, I come off of the first, what's the word I want? The first thing I created, and then I go from there.
Mhm.
But it's the same concept as if you had drawn a string.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's very helpful, and I appreciate the time you took to do that. And
Oh, no, it's fine. I hope it was helpful. It feels like, from my side, it feels like I wasn't very helpful, but
no, it is help. It was helpful, and I apologize to the rest of the class that it took so much time doing that.
honey, that you didn't take time away from anybody. Everybody was still doing their
Oh, thank.
design. So
Okay.
you're fine.
No, it was helpful. Thank you, Peggy.
I'm glad. It's always hard for me, I'm always struggling with how to describe. I mean, how Nani has done some wonderful classes on design because she does have this knack that is amazing. But the bottom line is, in the end, it really ends up being what moves you.
Mhm.
And after you do a bunch, you just don't worry about it. You just pick something and go, because in the end, it's not going to make any difference, because in the end, you're going to fill in with whatever feels right.
Mhm.
And I will admit, I do go and look up because I cannot remember. We have learned some amazing tangles, but they just don't come immediately and automatically to my brain. So I go look them up. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Well, that worked better than I thought it was gonna. So there you go. Well, let's keep going with that. See what happens. I don't know that I want to do that.
Okay, I need to go. Thank you so very much. See you next week.
All right, Mary. See you next
Bye,
week.
Mary.
Bye-bye.
We have just about 10 minutes. Okay, does somebody want to give me some advice? What do I do with this space? Nobody cares.
My question is, do you have to fill it up?
No, I don't have to do anything. I can leave it just like that.
What about if you put what I think of as rain in there, the little strokes that you've
The
used on other
strokes.
things?
Yep, I was thinking that. You mean like this stuff, right?
Mist.
Mist?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So, Peg,
Yeah.
my eye wants to see more drama on your, what are they?
Flux.
Flux, yes, but only on the left-hand side of it, as if it were really a dark ribbon, and then blank in the center, so that when you shade, that white part kind of puffs up.
Puffs up. Okay.
Only because I really like the drama of the henna drum and the pea.
Yeah, yeah.
I need a little bit balance, but the white is kind of cool.
Yeah, that was my problem, is that I was having trouble filling it up because I couldn't quite figure out what the hell to do with it. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah,
So
I can
right?
weight this up here.
And you don't have to do it a single strand. You could just do it little, portions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It's a good idea. Awesome. I don't usually expose this process. Okay.
You know what? That was very helpful for you to allow yourself to expose this process. Because I was thinking the whole time, the gift in this is that you've taken the time to step back and not feel like you had to fill it all in right away, but you took your time to think, what do I want to do? And I think a lot of times we have to step away for a while and
Yeah. 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 I think that's true, Jen, and I agree. I think that's what happens to me is that yeah.
and then you got into your own zone. I almost thought you were just not with us anymore. I really, no, really,
Well, when
but
I stopped talking, it was true. I was doing my thing. And that's
yes,
why I changed my diva dance and made it big down here but didn't go all the way up.
yep,
Because for some reason I wanted to fill that, but I wanted to leave some white. So
yep.
yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go. Sometimes you just go with your instincts, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing because I want to see your alls if anybody wants to share. So I'm going to go in my order. It's not a requirement, just an opportunity. Mimi, do you want to share? You're muted, by the way.
I had a phone call and I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow, that's great. Wow.
That's
amazing.
great.
Wonderful. Yeah, amen to
That's
that.
fantastic.
Fun doing it.
Very good.
Cool.
Wow.
That's neat. Mary Moran, do you want to show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Oh,
my
Oh,
daughter
cool.
is an architect, so I've always
Oh,
wanted to work a Greek fret.
love
But
it. Love
That
it.
is
Yes.
at the
awesome.
end,
Nice.
I
See,
decided we needed more black, so I don't know what they became.
I think that's cool, but it's
Very
neat.
nice.
You
Very
But that
did
nice.
was a lot of
the
fun.
one
Thank
technique I
you.
didn't demonstrate. Thank you, Mary. That was wonderful. You can make the letters big and fill them in with tangles. Susan, do you want to share or not? Oh, yes.
oh,
Oh, very
Oh,
I
nice.
wish
wow.
very nice.
I wish
Cool.
I had made the T bigger to start with, heavier.
Yep. But that's okay
Very good.
because
Very
next
good.
time you'll do
I
it
like
different.
it.
It looks neat.
I like it.
Thank you.
Mike and Myra.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I kind of needed some peace this week, so I just worked on it.
Amen,
Oh,
girl.
nice.
Amen.
So,
I am 100% with you. Yeah.
yep.
Okay, and here, now this is different, but I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time.
Oh,
that's
And do
Wow,
it,
that's good.
So I,
cool. That
anyways,
is cool.
it was a lot of fun. I liked it.
That
I'm
is
still
cool.
working on it.
I
Very
like what
cool.
you did with the background.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The
Thank you.
background was awesome.
Thanks.
Linda Connolly, do you want to show, babe?
I'm gonna try. I've got workmen beside me, so I'll be real quick. This
No,
is what
we're
I
fine.
did. This is what I did today.
Okay.
And I went through my things from 2021, and I did this in 2021,
Oh, pretty.
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
kind of the same principle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, just cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anne-Marie.
Mine aren't that great. So I don't think I did as
That
much
great.
line weight on that.
Wow.
It's supposed to be an R, but
Unique.
It is. It's
Who's
great.
R? What are you talking
then
about?
these were my doodly things.
Oh, wow.
They're great.
Nice.
We are starting. And my mom's not here. Her internet is out and kaput, so she's sad to be missing it.
Oh,
Got
well,
the
we got
video.
the recording, so
Yes, yes.
hopefully your internet comes back soon.
I know.
Janet, do you want to share?
No, I'm not going to share. I mostly was observing.
Okay. All right, cool. How nani?
So today,
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
Very pretty. Very nice.
There we go. There we go.
Great.
Nice.
Very pretty.
Oh, nice.
let's show another example.
Yeah, we did
I'm
that.
using,
There it is. Yeah, now I can see it.
There. That's good.
I don't understand this light thing here going.
I know. I have the same issue. I don't get it either.
So
It's cool.
the diva dance is a letter itself,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then the rest is all around. Okay. I gotta go. We'll see you next week. I guess
All
I'm not guess. I know I'm up. Sorry.
It's all right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Peggy.
All right. You're welcome. I
Very
hope
much.
it was fun or
It
enjoyable.
It was. Thank you.
Thank you very much.